Hi, this is Pastor Rick, and I want to welcome you to the Sunday Forum on this Sunday, March the 27th, as we take a look at our 1K project here at Emmanuel. This is the second in a two-part series on talking about the relationship with faith and economics. We're taking a look at the Bible. We talked about this last time. The Bible talks more about this relationship of faith and economics than it does about prayer. So it's an important topic. Last time we did some background information, and today we want to talk about 5 models of microlending and really the importance of microlending all over the world and now within the United States. But let me just do a quick review so we can move to that point of where we can talk about our models. First of all, 1K churches represent a movement of 1,000 congregations in the United States who we hope will be offering microloans to small businesses in their areas. This is done all over the world, but now it's being done in the United States. And so we did the first study was the relationship between faith and economics to shape our biblical imaginations around this idea. But then now the second part is to express in models how we might best loan money, identify businesses who could use our assistance. Secondly, last time we did talk about the biblical imagination around faith and economics. 3 different economies. We tried to summarize a very complex concept within the 3. The first being the garden economy, where here we take a look at the creation and how that has shaped not just the Jewish imagination around us being co-creators with God in the garden, but also shaped the Christian imagination as well. And so we talked about how that garden worked, about being co-creators with God, receiving responsibility. Jews would all get land in the Promised Land so they could sustain their family economically, no slavery, at least not for over 7 years. So there were a lot of principles that came from this image of Adam and Eve in the garden with God. First model. Second is the Babylonian economy. And here the talk is really about being alienated from the economy. This is due to sin and alienation. It starts right after the garden, correct? When Adam and Eve fell. But we particularly see this when various empires, Babylon, Persia, Egypt, Greece, Rome, all take advantage of Israel and the Israelites, take out of their economies, usually through taxes, but also through war, and leave people alienated from their local economies. They couldn't prosper because the wealth was all going then to another regime, another land. And so this is an economy of exploitation. And even today we know sometimes people just don't fit into our economies. That could be globally, or maybe sections of Africa or Asia just don't fit into the larger economy. But also we know this with our kids. We send them to good schools because we hope through some skill sets that they can also enter into the economy in a productive way. And that we want to happen, but doesn't always happen, does it? And also with the Babylonian economy, idolatry plays a role where we're not placing God first. That's the second. The third then is a kingdom economy where now Jesus deals with the sin, the alienation that keeps us from the community, from prospering and thriving in the community. And that's the question now is how does Jesus, with his forgiveness and his abundant life, how does that change our imagination about how now to serve the neighbor through sharing in our abundance? So we mentioned that communion models this relationship of the kingdom economy, and several actually mentioned last week. Here's where we also can talk about the Commonwealth. An old idea here in the United States, but one to say the economy just doesn't serve the king like George III, but serves all the people within the Commonwealth. Okay, now let's move to the importance of microlending. And it's very important. I'm going to read from a study that was done 10 years ago. So it's 10 years old, but nevertheless quite important in lifting up the role of microlending in the United States. And you're going to be surprised here because the role microlending plays is bigger than you can imagine. How great of an impact does microbusiness have on our new economy? A lot greater than many previously thought. As summarized in the AEO, the Association of Enterprise Organizations or Opportunities, their new report, Bigger Than You Think, the Economic Impact of Microbusiness in the United States. Microbusinesses are an increasingly feasible and attractive option to those for whom a precarious economy and mercurial labor market no longer serve. We can say that, even though this was written 10 years ago, we can say that a lot about today as well. Beyond affording their owners freedom and flexibility to forge paths to job stability and self-sufficiency, these enterprises also wield an inherently boundless power to resuscitate America's employment and economic health. That's quite a summary. It's bigger than you think that microbusinesses represent 92% of all U.S. businesses. So they're small, but they are mighty. And a microbusiness, they are defined as enterprises with fewer than 5 employees, including the owner. And so that's interesting that if these micro businesses are successful and hire just one more person, as stated in this report, well, then the unemployment in the United States almost goes to zero. That's how powerful they can be. It's also thought that these micro businesses, because they're smaller, can adapt better to the changing environment. 41.3 million jobs were created 10 years ago, and 31% of all private sector jobs were then micro businesses. So it's really rather astounding when you see the impact that these small businesses have throughout the United States. Again, bigger than you might imagine. So now here are 5 models that we're going to use here at Emmanuel to try to support some micro businesses in our area. We're going to invite these businesses in on a Saturday in April, which will be communicated real soon. And you can participate by coming and hear their presentations, and then we will select those for probably 2 loans of $2,000. And here are the 5 models that we can use in how we give the loans. The first is called the angel model of investing. It's a direct investment. This is the easiest one I know for me to imagine. We invest directly in the business, and then they pay us back the loan directly financially with no interest. We do not charge interest here at Emmanuel. So that's angel investing. That's the most direct and easy to grasp. The second is mission partner. In this model, the businesses repay the loan, but through donating goods and services to the community. So they're paying it forward. And so they are to select an agency, a church, a nonprofit in the area where they can pay back, again, their loan to us, but they pay it back in the community then with interest, meaning with extra services, usually exceeding, for example, if they receive a loan for $2,000, we might charge them $2,500 in services. Okay, angel investing first, mission partner. The third is peer lending. And here a cohort or a business group, like an artist's group, might get together, and we will give the funds to the group, first to fund maybe one of the artists, and when the artist pays back their money, then we'll promote the second artist, and then the third artist. In other words, each time the loan's paid back, that loan passes through the whole group, and so everyone gets a chance at getting some additional help and a loan that might spur them on a little bit more. And that's called peer lending. So if we found a group of businesses, that's what we'd use. The fourth is called justice partner, and here the congregation invests through a financial intermediary. So here we might be in certain areas where it's difficult to choose which business to support. So we choose an agency, it could be a credit union, a community agency, and we empower them to place the loan where they think it's appropriate. We just feel they're in a better position to select in their community than we would be here at Emmanuel. And fourth is public witness. This is the edgier one. It's one we have not tried yet at Emmanuel, although we've wanted to. And that is the person coming to get the loan obviously doesn't have strong credit. They can't go to a bank. And so we want to put them into the cloud to raise money through the web. But we use our creditworthiness as an institution to help them raise money, to go publicly to raise money through, it's called Kiva Zip. And that way the public can give small amounts to this account. We back it up. We back up the loan. The money then, though, comes to them to purchase something greater. And there, it's not necessarily our money, but it's our reputation that we put on the line to help them raise money online through this Kiva Zip. So 5 different models that we can use depending on which businesses make their presentations and what we think is most helpful for them in paying back the loan. The bigger idea, though, is God has blessed us abundantly, and we want to share that abundance with the community, because we know when small businesses thrive, the whole community thrives. They can't yet go to banks, and so we're kind of changing the financial equation here in our own community in Collier County, and that's our goal. And I hope that you will then join us for this very important project of us getting out in the neighborhood and supporting small businesses there. We want the community to thrive, and this is our contribution to the abundant life in our neighborhood. So thank you for joining us for the Sunday Forum on this Sunday, the 27th, and pay attention. We'll be announcing the Saturday retreat real soon. Bye-bye now.